Welcome back to the Forensics Detail. Today we've done the first proper wash on my 330 BMW Clubsport CI, aka the Club Sandwich, and my God, it looked half clean, but it was absolutely mean and covered in contamination. Let's run through what we've had to do. So first up, guys, everything with detailing I'd like to break down in wash, decon, polish, and then, you know, the last stage, protection. Those 4 different areas of detailing. It's a simple way to break it down. Let's start with the wash. First up, guys, we went, because it's a hot day today, sun is out, panel temperatures are up, we're probably in the 20s, something like that out there. Beautiful day, beautiful. We didn't put all the pre-wash over the car to soak. What we did was we soaked off the 4 alloy wheels. The car is cool and the alloys are generally cooler in those arches. And we soaked them with spritzer, the last of my spritzer citrus pre-wash. Soaked all 4 wheels, blasted them off with a pressure washer, then covered in Surfex HD around 10:1 in this pump sprayer, and then we set about going at the wheels, the wheel arches, which are disgusting, and the wheels have got to come off of this car to clean it properly, guys. They really do. But we've done a good clean on the alloy wheels. I'm looking at them now. It's always nice to look into the barrels and not see any kind of dirt, and I've only just wheeled this car in, but I'll show you. So hopefully you can see that in the camera. Exposure will kick in if I come up round here. So, like, you know, it's really, really clean in there. Really clean. In fact, I could take them off and coat them potentially. But we want to take the arches off, clean the arches out another time. Really got in there and underneath with all the brushes to get the dirt out of that lip. Used a whole variety of brushes, guys. So these, typically, the little handheld brushes, here's some really good tips for you. Typically I can do everything with these 4 brushes, okay? So starting with the least aggressive, we've got these ones. When the car is virtually clean, you're almost sweeping away small amounts of dust on a very nice car, then I would use those. Most times I use hogshead brushes because they've just got a bit more poke and there was lots of grime in all the areas, so, you know, and these are strong enough to do wheels as well unless they're really baked on. But then you can up the aggression to this Elasta soft tip, and it's not a soft tip, it's like, Jesus, thick, you know, nylon strands where you can, if grime is really embedded, even a hogshead brush isn't always going to strip it off. So this brush is really going to blast off grime and on the wheels embedded kind of dirt. Use that as a last resort, maybe doing the petrol cap and stuff like that. So those 3 brushes, those 3 scales of brushes, all I need. And if you're looking at these little mini detail factory brushes and thinking what a novelty they are, which is kind of what I thought when I bought them, that I wouldn't use them, this is a brilliant little brush. Essential, I would say, or, you know, some sort of mini hogshead. It doesn't have to be the detail factory one. I know some of you don't like the price of it, but for me, I'll always use these now. I love them, in, you know, to hold them, the handles, and I don't care if they're sort of £10 or whatever. So that's the brushes I'm using. You know about all the brushes in there. Look, you can see the amount of dirt in that bucket, but that's what it's for. Really full of dirt, just horrendous. We're using the EZ detail brush to do the arches, the one with this thick handle, so you can really get a bit of pressure in there. And then these brushes, the EZ brushes, to get in and do the wheels, and a variety of brushes for the surface. Most of it we're using Surfex HD as the cleaner, and then we're done. Then we move on to the contact clean, guys. And what I do is I put the spritzer on the car, but the panels are hot. So what I do is I put a bit of water on the car, which I don't normally like to do, but I change my wash methods according to the environment, you know. So I just put some water on there to cool the panel temperatures, put the spritzer on, and waited about a minute and blasted it off. Because otherwise it's just going to dry out and it's going to cause soap stains later on, and so you don't get the full benefit of the pre-wash. That's just the nature of the beast. After the pre-wash was done, We then did a contact wash using Maguire's Wash Plus that we put onto our wash mitt. Great for the glass. And I'll do another video of a great little glass cleaning sort of hack you can do with this. We used our wash mitt and our brushes, went round and really took our time cleaning this car, especially getting all the crevices and stuff like that, because it hasn't had a deep clean. You can see exactly what I do as I talk about this. I'll overlay the shots, but lots of brushwork is the key, so that when I come back in, you know, and I look at these rubbers, there's no grime and stuff. I don't know if you can see that, guys. It's all kind of like clean, all down in here, lifting up these little hinges and cleaning in there, under the door handles, in there, you know, trying to get that clean. There was a lot of grime in there. It probably needs a bit more attention. All these seals. So we're really having to do a proper wash. You know, it's easy doing my 140 because it's so well maintained. This thing hasn't been cleaned. I haven't cleaned it properly, and I've owned it for 6 months. Before that, it might not have been cleaned properly for God knows how long. Who knows? It was filthy. So very important, brushwork, and using an aggressive wash abrasive product we can really rub. And I'm using that bucket as a rinse bucket, you know, because you've got to pick up dirt on there and you've got to go back and get that off. But this was an aggressive wash where we're not worried about maintaining the condition of the paint, because the paint's in awful condition, which we'll talk about later on. After that, guys, decontamination. So I started off using the Carbon Collective exfoliate block, which you can cover more ground on. You know, it's very nice to hold, it's soft, it's just nice, it's awesome, but it's always a case of picking the right tool for the job. And when I started working on this section down here, I clayed the crap out of that with the exfoliate block, and came back and had a look at it and felt it. And I mean clayed the crap out of it, and it still had the chunks of contamination. Typically, if you can see the little chunks of contamination on there, you've got a lot of clay, you've got a lot of claying to do. And the best tool for the job, I think, when you're in that scenario, is an aggressive clay bar. So I'm using the blue, which I think is the medium. I can't remember which one's the most aggressive, if it's regular or medium with Built Hammer. Say in the comments, you can go and find it on their website. But this blue stuff, as soon as I started using it, all the dots that were left behind, it just picks off in one swipe. This is quite old, this clay, and it's losing its pliability. So I'm going to go and buy a load more new Built Hammer clay now. I'll probably just buy their medium one, whatever that is, the one in the middle, whether that's regular or medium, and just get a couple, 2 or 3 boxes of that. I might even get in rounds one, I don't know. But this Built Hammer clay, it's a pain to form and to mould and shape, even on a hot day like this. But I can guarantee you, it pulls more contamination than any other clay I've used, and that is essentially what I'm interested in. So I even been testing out the clay cloth with it. It was another opportunity to test all 3 mediums. No doubt the clay cloth and the exfoliate pad can be really, really handy when you've got light contamination on a nice new car or a newer car. But when you've got years of contamination, for me, it's an aggressive clay bar all the way, and it's Built Hammer clay. I've spent about 2.5 hours, maybe even longer, claying this car, and I'm absolutely exhausted. So much clay on the lower down panels. Broke a lot of the rules about how I normally like to clay if I'm preserving or minimising scratching. And my clay, managing my clay, I haven't really managed it really. I just swapped blocks halfway through and got a bigger block, and I've just used that all the way through, and this is now filthy, and this needs to be thrown away, because it's just picked up all sorts of chunks and stuff like that, and it's a bit dry, so we'll do that. Another thing, O&R, where is it? O&R is a clay lube where you mist it and it makes a fine mist. It's just lovely. It's just a great thing to do. Or you could, if you don't want to use O&R, you can put water in there, spritz loads of water, but you just get more slip from water, from O&R. When you're just using water and you're claying it, the clay kind of dies and grips in and beds in, sticks more. So O&R, I think, is a good clay lube. After decontaminating the car, there was tons of residue left on the car. So what I do is I get a clean microfiber cloth, I soak it in water, and I have the pressure washer gun there. You can see the gun outside, and I just blast the panel, and I just use a bit of contact to pick up the dried O&R clay lube residue, which has been baking on the car for about 2 hours, and it just comes right off. And I will show you right now what the car is like. So the main thing is it feels so smooth now, the paintwork. It is covered. This camera you're looking through, the GoPro, is rubbish for picking up scratches. So probably you're seeing really nice paintwork. I'm seeing scratch galore all over here, deep scratches, all sorts. I'm seeing bird etching there. I'm seeing little bits of pickling underneath. You can see that, can't you? Pickling. It's interesting the way those pickles have formed. This car has had some paintwork here, I believe. I think it's had some paintwork before. But now, the paintwork of the car, especially these lower areas, feels lovely. There's bits of clay residue on there, you know, from where the clay's kind of stuck to the car. Not too worried about that. That's it for this video, guys. I'm not going to be dressing the car. I'm not going to be polishing the car. And I'm not going to be waxing the car. Why aren't you going to be waxing the car, John? Because the car has paintwork issues over virtually every single panel, and it's going to need paintwork. And you do not want any wax, sealant, ceramic, any protection product, even detail spray, anything on your car, you know, because these products are hard to remove. Traffic film removers won't remove them, stuff like that. If you're ever taking your car to the body shop and you know you've got fresh protection on there, my advice is don't take it to the body shop, because they will typically try and remove it with traffic film removers. You need to abrade it off. You want that protection to be virtually gone before it goes to the body shop, and then you go and do a very aggressive clean and decon on the car to remove any contamination and try and get all the last stage products off, and then it can go off to the body shop. This would be great to go to the body shop now because it's all been cleaned and decontaminated. So that's it for this video, guys. What I'm going to be doing with this car now, oh, it's nice to have those little BMW centre caps on. What I'm going to be doing with this car now is stripping the front down, well, not stripping, taking the bumper off and doing some mechanical work. We're going to drain the coolant system out and put new coolant in it. We're going to change the reservoir around to fix one of the coolant errors I've got. The bobber in the reservoir's fallen to bits, so it's permanently, well, the sensor's floating around in there, so sometimes you go over a bump and the coolant level warning light comes on. It's a sealed unit, so we're going to put a new reservoir in there. Really looking forward to this, actually. The big question is, what am I going to do with this car? How am I going to get it sorted? And we're going to answer that and tackle that in another video where I show you all of the problems on this car, on all of the different panels, and you can tell me the best way forward. I think it's virtually, well, let's save that for another video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm absolutely knackered. That's it. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe. See you later. Bye for now.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I when